Well, due to the coolness of the basement here, it's taken a real long time for this to dry, so I'm putting the cover off here to the side, let it continue drying, but it's actually looking pretty good. So now I can continue working on the rest of the machine. So I think I'm going to paint the front now and hit the sides and maybe that shelf down below there. So I'm going to take this New England Dragway sticker off. Clean off that residue from the sticker. This is the manufacturer of it. It's a Northern Industrial Parts washer. We already determined it's made in China, but so that's who makes it. But I really don't need to know that. I don't think it's going to be worth keeping the sticker on there, really. Not much of a sticker for that matter. So get that off of there. Well, it got dark outside and I just came in from breaking the Hendy lathe. Not a very good day, and I decided that one last thing I'd do was use my chop saw while I was out there, and I cut up this is some scrap solid I don't know what this actually was, this pallet material or something, but it's pretty heavy dimensionally, and I think it'll work out well. I cut it to 20 1/4 inches, which is the inside diameter from the inside of that leg over there to there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have these are going to be on the insides of the legs, and I'm going to drill holes through the legs and screw into these, and then that'll give me a nice flat wooden bottom to which I'm going to mount these metal casters, swivel casters that I picked up. So these are rated for, I think, 150 pounds a piece. I don't know if that's accurate, but they're solid metal wheels, and they were actually pretty cheap. They were about $5 a piece or $4 a piece at Home Depot. So I'll stick those on like this, and then I'll be able to wheel this thing around out of the way when I'm not using it. It's later the same evening, and I've decided to come down here and go back to work on the parts washer and see if we can't get something constructive done. Still kind of beating myself up about the incident earlier today with the Hendy lathe, which as soon as I get some of that video edited, I'll start posting that series online, moving the Hendy lathe. It's really got me perturbed because I don't even have the thing down here in the basement yet. I've already managed to break something on it. So anyways, so I'm gonna try and soothe my feelings with some Seagram's, what do we got here? Black Cherry Fizz. Yeah, that's pretty much a girl's drink there, I'd say, but it was in the fridge. Alright, so what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to try and see what I've got for screws to bolt in my new wooden pieces there, and put some screws in the wheels on the bottom there too. Well, I made an alarming discovery, which is that I'm woefully poorly stocked on lag screws and lag bolts. I just kind of scoured through everything I had, and this is what I came up with. I got a whole jar of these screws. I don't even remember what these were for. Each screw's got a little gasket on it so that it seals when you screw it into something. But what the heck were these for? Can't remember. But anyways, so I got to decide how I'm going to fasten this all together. Now, this is a fundamental flaw in my personality, which is that, for instance, if I was going to put 4 screws in this caster, I would want all 4 screws to be the exact same size and type, so that it all matched and looked correct. And, well, if I want to do that, I can do that, but it means A, I can't work on it tonight, B, I've got to go to the hardware store or one of the big box stores and buy the screws and pay the money for them. And quite frankly, I think I just need to get over it. And especially since these are going to be screwed on and not even be seen really for the most part. I mean, I'll know they're under there, mismatched, and part of me will still be bothered by it, which again, that's just a flaw in my personality, I think, that I need to try and work on. Anyways, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna use a hodgepodge of screws, and I might not even put 4 screws in each one of these casters. I might just go with 2 in each. We'll see, because I really don't need that much holding power. It's not like, I mean, the weight's going to hold this on here. The purpose of the screws in this application are just to keep this from doing this. So I think 2 screws might suffice. And then as far as bolting these onto the legs, my plan is to drill holes in the sides of the legs and put screws in from this side and this side. And I might just put, depending on what I end up using here, I'm going to see what I've got for matching screws to go with. Okay, I've already got the casters on this side. I screwed the casters on with 2 screws each onto the bottom of the wooden part, and now I'm going to drill the holes through the legs to secure the wooden part to the legs. I did it in this order because if I put the wooden part on first, then I'd have to turn the whole machine up on its side or really high to be able to go from underneath and screw those screws going up into the support. So now I'm going to get my center punch so I can punch a couple of marks to get some good starting points for the screws to go in. Alright, well, things are moving along. The plan was to use 4 of these screws on each leg, and I got 3 in, and then I had drilled this hole prematurely, and then when I started to drill in, I realized I was hitting what's the odds, hitting the screw that I have coming up from the bottom, coming up through the bottom here, going into the holding the caster on. So that screw is right in there, so now I can't put a screw in that hole, so I'm going to have a hole with no screw in it. That's the kind of thing that'll drive me nuts, going back to that whole issue with my personality, anal retentiveness, I guess you would call it. But hey, I think that's going to work fine. And then on this side I've got 2 done so far, and these I think I'm going to be okay, because this one I don't have a screw in the front bottom here. I've got it in the rear because I only put 2 screws in each caster. I'm also drilling. I'm using 2 different size drill bits. I'm using a larger size drill bit for a clearance hole through the metal, and then the smaller drill bit into the wood so the threads will grab. And that's just so I don't have to deal with the threads catching on the metal and giving me a hard time. So other than that, let's get a couple more in here real quick. My battery's dying. Alright, that side's done. Gonna gonna head upstairs. I have to finish this tomorrow night.